Hey there, Cole. Hope you're having a great day today. This is a reply message to the video your dad sent over to me. Good work. I'm glad you're practicing really hard this summer and you're taking it real seriously. I like that. Note reading looks like it's coming along. Your tapping looks like you're spending a lot of time on tapping. Don't forget your songs though. Right, as cool as tapping is neat. I'll talk about it in just a second. Make sure you keep up on your Black Sabbath tune, and when you're in the studio, fingers crossed this Thursday, and get you some new material. I'm thinking maybe some AC/DC might be in order. Like Girls Got Rhythm might be a great one for you. Has some cool pentatonic riffs in there and some power chord work. So anyway, so we'll get to more of that later this week. So first thing is HowlBook. Like I said, nice work. I know HowlBook is probably the most exciting thing that we do together. So so I'm glad you're keeping up on it and making sure you practice your notes. They're more important in more ways than one. So what I'd like to say about that is make sure to practice sections. So when you're practicing just like the first phrase in the piece or in the tune, just play that by itself. Don't try to play the whole exercise all in one go. Say if you find you're having trouble with that G, B, F, B, G, B, F, B, that section right there, isolate that, stop right there and just practice that spot. So don't go play through and go, ooh, I made it, glad that's over with, and continue on. What I would actually practice is sit down and with intending to practice that day, and then putting it all into context. And then the other thing I would do is don't always start at the beginning. So say if you're having trouble with that last section, start there, right? And then you work on the transition from one thing. We'll talk about that in a second. A lot of what I practice are transitions from one difficult thing to another. So I'll practice like an idea, and then I'll practice the transition to get into the next idea. Because that's usually where things fall apart, is in those seams right there. So make sure you practice that. And then in terms of tapping, check your E minor pentatonic boxes. I know it's a cool effect, and I can tell you're really enthusiastic about learning it, and I bet you're going to be my tapping superstars. Make sure you're playing all the right notes, right? So say for example we're playing box 1, right? Right, I got my box right there. I got my toys on too. So. Right? I know my notes of E minor pentatonic. And then when going into box 5, you stretched out and you play that C sharp right there. It should be a D. Like I said, I know you're excited about learning this technique, but make sure you're playing all the right notes. All right, so what you'll do is making sure, first of all, right, what I would even do is I maybe wouldn't mess around with switching through boxes first. Even though that's an exercise I gave you, you still practice it, but what I would do first, before we get too far into that, is try to switch between, just do a vertical thing through one box. So say, for example, I have box, let's do box 5, right? I have box 5 here, and I tap box 1. Good job on the tap, push, hammer, right? That's what you got to say to yourself when doing this stuff. Tap, push, hammer, tap, push, hammer, tap. And I talked about this in my last video, so maybe you hadn't had a chance to really look at it yet. But you have tap, push, hammer, tap, push, hammer, tap, push, hammer. The tap is what saves you, or what connects you to the next string. Because if you did this, and then there's a break in between, what we want to do is that tap right there, that's the one that I reset the left hand on. So tap, push, hammer, tap, push, hammer, tap, push, hammer. Right? So the tap on the next string is what gets you able to get your left hand up. So one more time. Tap, push, hammer, tap, push, hammer. I'm tapping the second string, then I move the left hand into second string. So that's what I mean by practicing the scenes, making sure that that you're transitioning cleanly from one thing to the next. And that's where I find really impressive when players can do that. It's not necessarily the tap in and of itself, but how smoothly can you move it between other things. This is a triplet pattern, so just to give you something easy to remember, the way I remembered it when I was first starting this kind of stuff was dinosaur, dinosaur, that dinosaur, dinosaur. That's the pattern. And dinosaur, 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 dinosaur. That's what keeps it all together, right? Making sure your rhythm is rock solid. Cool, work on that for me, and I look forward to seeing you on Thursday. Take care.